Hey guys, do you know who Jackie Robinson is? Wasn't he a really good baseball player?
Absolutely, he was a great baseball player, but he was even more important than that.
Like what?
Let's find out in this video.
Jackie Robinson was born January 31st, 1919 in Cairo, Georgia. His name was Jack Roosevelt Robinson, in honor of President Theodore Roosevelt.
He was the youngest of 5 children and was very young when his parents separated.
His mother, Mally, relocated the family to Pasadena, California, where she worked several jobs to pay all the bills for the family.
Jackie attended John Muir High School, where he had to deal with racism on a regular basis.
During high school, Jackie's athletic ability was seen by his older brothers, who then urged him to continue and pursue even more sports.
Jackie began participating in more sports like track, just like his older brother Mac.
Mac Robinson was a track star and actually won a silver medal in the 200-meter dash at the 1936 Olympics.
Besides track, Jackie also played baseball, football, tennis, and basketball.
Then in 1938, Jackie became the region's most valuable player in baseball.
Next, Jackie went to college at UCLA.
And while attending UCLA, he excelled yet again in track, baseball, football, and basketball.
He became the university's first student to win 4 varsity letters in those sports.
However, even with his success as an athlete, Jackie Robinson had to leave UCLA in 1941, shortly before he would have graduated due to financial difficulties.
Jackie then moved to Honolulu, Hawaii.
And there he played football for the semi-professional Honolulu Bears.
But his season with the Bears ended early when the United States joined World War II and he was drafted into the Army.
And it was here at basic training that Jackie met and became good friends with Joe Louis, the boxing champion.
Joe helped Jackie get into officer training school.
And once Jackie completed his officer training, he was sent to Fort Hood in Texas, where he joined the 761st Tank Battalion.
The 761st Tank Battalion was made up of only African American soldiers because they were not allowed to serve with the white soldiers.
And then one day, Jackie found himself in trouble when he was riding an army bus and had refused to move to the back of the bus because he was just not familiar with segregation in the military.
He then began challenging the system of inequality early in his life.
And unfortunately, at this time, Jackie was going to be court-martialed. But the news spread throughout the country and in NAACP advertisements, and the charges were fortunately then dropped.
He ended up leaving the Army with an honorable discharge in 1944.
After the Army, Jackie started playing baseball for the Kansas City Monarchs in 1944.
At that time, the Monarchs were part of the Negro Baseball League.
Black players were still not allowed to play in Major League Baseball during this time.
Jackie was an outstanding shortstop and had a batting average of .387. Eventually, there was a move in baseball to try to combine black and white players.
And fortunately, the president of the, at the time, Brooklyn Dodgers, Branch Rickey, had been looking for a potential player that had honor and integrity, as well as an excellent background.
And it was then that Jackie joined the all-white Montreal Royals baseball team, and they were a farm team for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1946.
Next, Jackie moved to Florida and began training with the Royals during the spring.
Jackie was the first African American baseball player ever on a white baseball team.
Again, the manager, Branch Rickey, understood that there would be tough times for Jackie, so he made Jackie promise not to fight back when faced with any racism.
Jackie received a lot of racial abuse and death threats from fans as well as other baseball players.
And Jackie, being the man that he was, chose not to fight back and lived up to the promise that he had with Branch Rickey.
Instead, his only focus was on playing baseball.
One time, while getting ready for a game, fans were harassing Jackie from the stands. Then, a white teammate named Pee Wee Reese walked over and put his arm around Jackie.
And this generous and caring display has become legendary in the history of baseball and set the tone for the future of baseball games.
In that first year with the Dodgers, Jackie hit 12 home runs and the Dodgers won the pennant. Jackie was named Rookie of the Year.
He helped the Dodgers win the National Pennant several times and the World Series in 1955.
And Jackie was also asked to play on the All-Star team 6 times and was the National League Most Valuable Player in 1949.
Jackie Robinson retired in 1957 and continued as a businessman supporting the Freedom Bank.
They were the first African-American controlled bank.
He also joined the NAACP as a board member.
Jackie Robinson paved the way for other African-American players to play in the major leagues.
And in 1962, he was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Sadly, Jackie Robinson died of a heart attack on October 24th in 1972. He was only 53 years old.
He was buried at Cypress Hill Cemetery in New York next to his mother-in-law and son.
And now, Jackie Robinson Day is celebrated on April 15th in Major League Baseball. And this is to remember when Jackie became the first African American to play in the majors. And each year on April 15th, baseball players wear the number 42 to honor Jackie Robinson's legacy.
Well, hey, guess what? Now we all know all about Jackie Robinson and how important he was not only to baseball, but to the world.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Bye.
Bye.